Hello everyone, welcome back to Shootout and welcome back to another prediction video for Premier League Match Day 3 this time as we go through the fixtures and what's going to go down, starting off Friday night, Chelsea versus Luton, and ending Sunday evening, Newcastle Liverpool. So, Mr. George Benson, how you doing and are you ready for this one?
Mate, do you know what? I'm excited for this one because I don't think there could be a nicer game of football for Chelsea. But I mean, is it even nice? What is nice anymore? Is this even nice? Chelsea versus Luton? I don't know if it is. This is going to be Luton's FA Cup final here. They're coming to West London. It's a Friday night under the lights. Who does it mean more to? Luton or Chelsea? And you know what? I'm going to throw my prediction just right out there so that we can get this video crack-a-lacking early doors here, Big Eunice. I'm going to say that Chelsea will win 2-0 against Luton on Friday night. I'd say more, but I'm not going to say more.
we got to be careful.
We do. I got ridiculed last week, and the scores, by the way, if you didn't see the Premier League reactions from Gameweek 2, it's 5-5 between Eunice and I. So let us know your predictions for this week in the comments below. I'm going with 2-0 Chelsea. Comfortable.
2-0. You know what's crazy? With a team like Luton, you don't know what to expect. And the truth of the matter is, even last weekend's Luton game got postponed. Their ground's not ready. So we don't really know what's coming to the bridge. It could be one of those inexperienced old championship sides that are just happy to be here. Or it could be one of those sides that you know nothing about and they just punish you in areas that you weren't expecting. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. It should be a fixture where Chelsea at home should get their season, up and running. I'll be honest. I want to come on here and say we're going to win 4-0. But I'm not going to do that this weekend. I think it's only right to say we've been a bit humbled. And you know what? I am going to go with I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I think it's only fair. I don't want to say 3-0 either. I was going to say 3-1, but I will go 2-0.
We have literally gone from being like the most arrogant, Chelsea the best thing since sliced bread, to can we just take the crust for this loaf, please? We'll take anything at this point. 3 points is all we need.
Crumbs, please. Crumbs.
Crumbs, yeah. We'll take that. We'll take that. Bournemouth, Tottenham. What a game, actually, this is going to be. This is going to be a corker, mate.
It's a Saturday early lunchtime kickoff. And you know what that means? Do we know what that means?
You tell me what that means. I know a few things that means. I think there's could either be some Friday night hangovers, potentially.
Mate, it's a Bournemouth win. 12:30 kickoff. The favourite always loses. The favourite always loses points if they have an early lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. So I am going with a Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1.
Wow. This is monstrous from you. But I kind of want to agree. But Tottenham really impressed me. And as much as I can't sit here every week and be like, Tottenham are going to get beat. Tottenham are going to get beat, everybody. Because everyone's going to be like, well, you're not really taking the predictions seriously because you just don't like Tottenham. So for that reason, Bournemouth look good. I think you're right, though. Like this could easily be a Bournemouth win. I'm going to say 2-2. 2-2.
Fair. You know what's crazy about this game? On paper and realistically, Tottenham should be winning. And I'd normally, if it wasn't for that time slot, I'd be saying Tottenham win. I'd be saying maybe a 2-0 win, 2-1 win. But it's that time slot. It's a time slot of surprises. It always happens, and I'm not turning away from it. That's why I'm going Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1. Just for that.
2-1 Bournemouth. Do you know what? I think you're going to be right. I think that could be the first three-pointer of the season, and it's going to come from you, mate. Brentford just look really, really good. I think Palace also look good too. But it's just the Brentford attack, mate. I can just see Brentford blowing teams away this season. And it's very interesting with Tony. We spoke about him a bit on the Premier League review earlier on in the week. I just think Brentford's attack now just looks even more fluid. They're not reliant on just getting the ball to Tony. They're playing really nice football. It was a great win last week away at Fulham. And I think Brentford starts of the season, 4 points from their first 2 games, 2 London derbies in there. They've got another London derby here. And I think Brentford are going to take leaps and bounds forward. I think Palace might get a goal, but you tell your result first. I just think Brentford are going to win.
Okay, I'm going to differ from you on this. I reckon Palace will come into this game with confidence, even though they lost against Arsenal, but they really could have got a result, and that's against Arsenal, and I think they'll come with the same energy, much more higher energy than Fulham provided in their loss to Brentford. And for that reason, I reckon it's going to be a stalemate. I think both teams will be quite even, and I'm going 2-2.
2-2. All right, there's goals again. I'm going to go with 2-1 Brentford home win. The next game is Arsenal-Fulham. Surely this has just got, like, Arsenal finally
routine,
turn it on a little bit written all over it, don't you think?
Yeah. Standard win at the Emirates on a 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. It was one of those days. You can see exactly how it's going to go. I'm going 4-0 Arsenal.
4-0 Arsenal. All right, you got that
4-0.
one out the way. Do you know what? I'm going to go... Fulham, where are the goals going to come from? They got rid of Mitrovic.
Exactly.
Like, how are Fulham going to go to Arsenal and score, let alone get a
He'll
result?
find goals. He's got Neymar next to him now. He'll find goals, but yeah. Fulham, nah.
I think Arsenal, bloody hell, like this could be a cricket score. I'm going to say, no, do you know what? Oh yeah, I am. I'm going to say 5-0. 5-0 Arsenal. It's not what I want to say, but why not? Like, I think they're going to batter Fulham. I think if there's any result, when I'm looking at these fixtures now, even Sheffield United, Man City, that we'll get onto later in the video, even that I don't think City are going to score as many as Arsenal will score. Arsenal top scorers this weekend. Or maybe they're not. Find out as the video goes on. Man United, Nottingham Forest, Eunice. United are desperado at this point, aren't they? The win against Wolves, I don't even think they feel like that was 3 points because they were by far the inferior team in that game. Significantly, the inferior team against Spurs. Had chances, but couldn't bury them. You got Fernandes doing Rabonas as if they've already won the league. Fair play to him, though. It came off really well. Forest also, not a bad start to the season. I'm going to start my prediction for this one. As you jumped in for the last one, Big Eunice, it's a yellow card for you. Big yellow. One more
I was
offence,
told, no? Ref,
you're off.
come on.
You're sent off, mate.
Nah, I'm not having it. I'm appealing that. VAR, where you at?
We'll send it to an independent adjudicator. The results will be back next week to see if Eunice's yellow was rescinded.
It's a disgrace. It
is a disgrace from you. Total disgrace. But Man United...
From yourself.
Man United are going to win 2-1. And you can say whatever you want, but I know that this result is going to be the correct one. This is a Man United win by 2-1 at the oldest of Traffords.
Yeah, I agree. It's their first. They're going to be at home. It's a case of, I think they'll find some rhythm, something. Maybe the fans will get them going, but something. And I think the chances that will pop up, they'll probably bury 1 or 2. And they'll just carry the game through into 90 and they'll probably win. So I'm going with, I want to say 1-0, but I reckon Forest might score. So yeah, I agree with 2-1, to be honest. I'll go 2-1 as well. 2-1.
Casemiro to score. Everton versus Wolves. Oh, this is actually quite nice. Do you know what? I'll just a little caveat. I really miss when football, there was like 6 games at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, so I could just feast on Jeff Stelling with Gillette Soccer Saturday. Now there's only ever 3 or 4. There's 4 this weekend. Everton versus Wolves. 2 teams who, to me, have just been... Wolves unlucky against United, but woeful against Brighton. Everton, they're just awful. So for me, I feel like this game could be a massive one because I think both teams are desperate for a result here. But I just think that might end up making it such a drab game of football. What do you think?
This game, realistically, look, I think Everton will try and find some momentum being at home. But I think Wolves will put on enough quality to claw out a result. I don't think it'll be a battering. I think it'll be fairly close. We know how Everton are going to set up under Sean Dyche. Very defensive on the counter. But Wolves like to play on that in that way too. So I do reckon it'll be quite a balanced game of football. However, maybe not pleasing to the eye, I'll be honest. I reckon Wolves will come away with a win. A narrow win. I reckon Everton 1, Wolves 2. And yeah, more sour grapes, more bad feelings, more worry and doubt creeping into the Everton fans just as we get into the start of the season.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Everton. I'm going to say 1-1 for this one. Wolves get their first point of the season. Everton to snatch a late goal. 88th minute, someone's going to just bury a header in off the crossbar onto the floor and it goes in the back of the net off of the goalkeeper or something like that. Just when it happens, right, just come back here and just drop a like on this video. We move into the late Saturday game. A fascinating one, this one. You got Brighton, top of the league, against West Ham, buoyed by a magnificent win at home to Chelsea on Sunday. Brighton-West Ham. This is going to be very interesting because West Ham, what they did so well against Chelsea was contain. They managed to defend incredibly well. The problem for West Ham is Brighton are way more advanced than Chelsea are when it comes to attacking. The attacking movement of Brighton's players and the way that they all kind of know the roles of one another is leagues above where Chelsea were. And Brighton are at home. So I think West Ham are going to struggle in this game. And I can see Brighton, they've had like 46 shots on goal in the first 2 matches, which is an absurd figure to start the season. And I don't see this train stopping for Brighton anytime soon. West Ham, away from home, they're not as good as they have been at home. I think Brighton are going to win this game 2-0. Maybe West Ham are going to be difficult to break down, but I think Brighton will find a way and they'll win the game 2-0.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a spot-on scoreline. I was going to say the same. And I was going to say the same because, yeah, you raised a good point. West Ham contained really well against Chelsea. They launched some really good attacks, trying to exploit the space. Chelsea were going all out at one point during that game. Brighton are just really well oiled at the moment, and they're well drilled. And I think that's where Chelsea are not, because it's a new manager and it's a new system, it's new players trying to gel. With Brighton, I think they've already got all that figured out. And the way that they play is just full of confidence, full of charisma. And I think it'll be a bit too much for West Ham to contain. If they're looking to just contain, I think it'll be a bit too much to handle. So Brighton, with the confidence they're on and the way that they're playing, and even individually as well as collectively, I see them just getting a standard win. And I think a standard win will be 2-0 too.
Yeah, still top of the league. Sheffield United, Manchester City. I'll let you roll in with this one. How many goals is Haaland going to score here?
Well, is he? I think Man City will get goals, but will Haaland get goals? This is the thing. We don't actually know. Maybe he might, maybe he won't. I expect if you're going to start, your tally, it's probably... Well, he's already started in the first game, but if you're going to keep it rolling and start getting those goals accumulating, I think Sheffield United are the sort of opponent you're going to do it against. So I think it's probably going to be a bit too much to handle from the Sheffield United defence to just focus on Haaland. I think he'll probably outpower them, create space for others. We'll probably see a big scoreline here. I did say 4-0 for Arsenal. I reckon we'll get 3-0 Man City. I think they'll go a little bit easy into the second half while they're already 2-0 up or something. So I'm going 3-0 Manchester City.
I'm going to say flipping heck. This is also could just be another silly scoreline, couldn't it? I don't want to say the same result as you. And this is why it's so important that we take it in turns. So we keep things interesting.
Say 6. Say 6-0.
I am going to say 4-0 to Manchester City. I mean, Sheffield United... Fair. They're at home. They got the champions coming. They got nothing to lose. If ever there was a time that their fans would just be like, "Go on then, just entertain us, do something, anything you want to do." And if we see 10 goals for the other team, well, at least we saw a record in front of our very eyes at Bramall Lane. Moving us in to Turf Moor. A fascinating 2:00 kickoff on a Sunday. This one, Burnley, who we saw against Man City. Don't think they did themselves any injustice there. Tough game, very tough game. And then obviously they didn't play this weekend at Luton because Luton are still bloody building. So Burnley versus Villa. Villa, 5-1 defeat, 4-0 win. And Vincent Kompany's Burnley. Why do I feel like this is actually a really big game for them? Psychologically, if they don't get points in August, regardless of game in hand and all of that stuff or not, they're going to start being a bit worried that the season might not be about Kompany progressing what was so brilliant in the Championship. And maybe it's about like, right, let's get out the scrap and then we can start thinking. And then maybe they don't stick to a plan. They don't stick to a structure.
Give us yours, and then I've got reasoning that I've already got set in stone that I want to say about Burnley.
Okay, I am going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think Burnley will be really happy with that too. And I just think Aston Villa, away from home, maybe Villa Park's the fortress. Away from home, they're going to have to nurse themselves into the season. Go ahead.
Yeah, with Burnley, look, I think it's important they don't get carried away in all the hysteria and the expectation. They've come from the Championship, that's the Championship. I still think they're going to do well throughout the season, but they are going to lose games. That's standard. They are. I reckon I had them finishing about 14th, 13th, so not near the relegation zone, but they'll be there, and that means they're going to win a few games, but they are going to lose. And that's where, even if it's this early and you drop points, it's not the end of the world. You can pick yourselves up, you can start getting results later on. It can happen. I think with Burnley, they have a good setup, a good team. They just got to focus on themselves, focus on the football that they're playing, and I think, test themselves against the best. And I think this will be a very good test for them. Aston Villa are a very well coached, well oiled side that have showed a lot of progress over the last couple of years, or since Steven Gerrard got sacked. Since Emery came in, I think he's done absolutely wonderful with them. So it's a good test of level and see where they are. And I think Burnley, as long as they're not scared and they don't show too much respect, I agree, can get a result. I do think Aston Villa are a few steps ahead though, and I reckon that's why it'll be tight, but I'm going Burnley 1, Aston Villa 2.
So an Aston Villa win, 6 points from a possible 9. This is looking like we could be in for a feast of football again this weekend. But for me, what a fixture this is. And I think it's perfect timing for this fixture because Newcastle versus Liverpool. Liverpool have got themselves 4 points. They'll be happy with their start. Newcastle, absolutely breathtaking first game, underwhelming against City. Maybe a game that kind of tapered the potential expectation that could have arisen from that win against Aston Villa. But you know what, right? I really like Newcastle. I like them as a club. I think if ever there was a club who I was happy that isn't Chelsea that got investment to be able to go and try and build something and try and get back to where they feel as though they belong in terms of club size and all that debate. We could even do that in the future. We could rank how big Premier League clubs are. That would be a fun video, actually. But Newcastle, Liverpool, this has got goals galore written all over it. It's the final game of the weekend, and I really think this could be the highest scoring game. I do. I think Newcastle at home, they've just got this, there's an energy there. There's a willingness from their fans to just drive the ball into the back of the net. And I think that could be the case here against Liverpool, who also just score loads of goals. Don't you think?
I think that there could be a situation that, similarly to Man City Newcastle, it finished 1-0. I think we're going to see something similar here. Maybe Newcastle actually learning from their lesson, though. Newcastle, I think, are the most I've used this term quite a lot, well-oiled. But they have the most well-oiled defence in the league, as far as I'm concerned. And I think that's where, if there's anyone that's going to stop Liverpool's tremendous attack, it'll probably be them. So, where we're expecting goals from that attack, I think Newcastle nullify Liverpool. And I don't think Newcastle will end up scoring too many. I think they'll try and poach a win. And that's where I reckon we might see something really close, but low scoring instead. So, we're on opposite sides of the spectrum on this. But I am going with a 1-1 draw.
I had a funny feeling with your explanation that you were going to say that. I'm going to throw the gauntlet out here. 3-2 to Newcastle is what I think this is going to be.
Bloody hell. I hope. I'm with you on that.
I mean, it's what we all want, isn't it? If Chelsea, for whatever reason, Chelsea don't get a result against Luton on Friday, we're just willing for... Who have we got match week 4? We've got Forest at 3 p.m. the next week. It's going to be the longest week ever. The least that can happen if all of the bad things happen to Chelsea is that we can get a corker of a Sunday afternoon game with a roast dinner. I'm going to order one here in Bali. It's actually really good, to be fair. Extra gravy on the top. It's only £1. And I think we're going to feast on goals, roasts, everything. Newcastle 3, Liverpool 2. You guys can see all of our predictions on the screen. It's a cracking weekend, mate. We've got a couple of 5-goal thrillers in there. Not really thrilling if you're a Fulham fan, based on my prediction. But this is looking exciting. It's 5-5 between Eunice and I. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on what we've talked about here today. And your predictions, of course. And Big Eunice, when will we see everybody again?
Well, after this now, it's going to be after the weekend is all set and done, and we'll give our thoughts of the entire weekend and reacting to these predictions that we've made and see exactly what happens. So make sure you let us know in the comment section your predictions, how you think it's going to go down. Keep your eyes peeled for the content dropping on here. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified as well. And much appreciated for everyone watching. Thank you.